माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव श्री राधे जय कौरानिता मायापुर सची जय कौरानिताय जय मायापुर सची जय प्रभुपादा प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा शील प्रभुपदा श्री प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय हरे कृष्णा so welcome you all once again in our discussion of Lord Sri Krishna's appearance. So we were in Canto 10 chapter 3. We covered till text 21. Let me share my screen. We'll continue from there. Hare Krishna. So we have seen as of now, after Krishna's appearance, Vasudeva he prays, and then his prayer is going on. We are discussing about how his praying is, and then we'll see how Devaki starts praying to Lord Krishna, and then go on. Let's see text 22. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः नमः ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So text 22 onwards will continue today. Text 22 is again the prayers by Vasudeva to Lord Krishna. So I remember that Lord Krishna has appeared now in the present house of Kansa and before Vasudeva and Devaki, and he is completely in his whole full form, full opulent as well. And he is holding his four Shankha Chakra Gada and Padma, and he is wearing a yellow shining garment, having a Kastuva Mani, the necklace, jewels, and with a crown as well. Text 22. Ayam tu asabhasya tava janma nau grihe sruta grajams na kruta grajams te neovadita surevara स ते वताराम पुरुषै समर्पितम स्तुवा त्वा धुनौ वा भीषर त्युदायुधः. O my Lord, Lord of the demigods, after hearing the prophecy that you would take birth in our home and kill him, this uncivilized Kansa killed so many of your elder brothers. As soon as he hears from his lieutenants that you have appeared, he will immediately come with weapons to kill you. So here, though Krishna is Supreme Lord, Vasudeva also has recognized he is the Supreme Lord, but still he he wanted to inform Lord Krishna about the atrocities of Kansa, how he killed his 6 sons, and he will come again as soon as he know about the birth of yours. So that's how Vasudeva is saying about Kansa, because he is asabhya, he's uncivilized and most heinous personality. Though Krishna knows everything very well, but still he is just informing him again, reminding him these things. So Prabhupada says in purport that Kansa has been declared as asabhya, meaning uncivilized or most heinous, because he killed many children of his sister. When he heard the prophecy that he would be killed by her eighth son, this uncivilized man, Kansa, was immediately ready to kill his innocent sister on the occasion of her marriage. An uncivilized man can do anything for the satisfaction of his senses. Right, this is the very, very important line. Uncivilized man can do anything for the satisfaction of his senses. So, just to satisfy our senses, the people can do anything. Like Prabhupada says, he can kill children, he can kill cows, he can kill brahmanas, he can kill old men. He has no mercy for anyone. According to Vedic civilizations, cow, women, children, old men, and brahmanas should be excused if they are at fault. But asuras, uncivilized men, do not care about that. Right? So he was condemned, and also we informed about Krishna. So such uncivilized men are not in favor of Krishna consciousness movement as well, and we have seen this in many times. Right? Okay. On the other hand, Krishna Prabhupada quotes about the devotees. Satatam kirtayanto mam tanchatadravrata. According to this verse, it is the duty of the Mahatmas to chant the Hare Krishna mantra and try to spread it all over the world to the best of their ability. Unfortunately, society is in such an uncivilized state that there are so-called Mahatmas who are prepared to kill cows and children and stop the Hare Krishna movement as well. So that's a that's what we should be doing, is remembering Krishna, spreading Krishna consciousness, and then other way around is people are, even on the name of Mahatmas, they are doing all these things. Like still people are prepared to kill children, kill cows and others. And here Prabhupada says that although Krishna cannot be killed, Vasudeva, as the father of Krishna, was trembling because in affection he thought Kansa would immediately come and kill his son. Similarly, although the Krishna consciousness movement and Krishna are non-different and no asuras can shake it, we are afraid that at any point of time asuras can stop this movement in any part of the world. And we have seen many times, even in Mayapur, it had been attacked, and in many parts in Europe and other areas also, the Krishna's devotees, they had been attacked like that. So still there, but they do no harm to anyone, but still they have been attacked. Right? So if people can now blame Krishna, then what to speak of his devotees? They can do anything. Text 23. That's the prayers by Vasudeva, and now it's prayers by Devaki. Let's see how it goes. Text 23. Sri Sukha Uvacha Athainaman Atmajam Vikshaya Mahapurusa Lakshanam Devaki Tan Upadhavat Kamsad Bhita Swismita. Sudhir Goswami continued, thereafter, having seen that her child had all the symptoms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Devaki, who was very much afraid of Kansa and unusually astonished began to offer prayers to the Lord. So just imagine Krishna appears. Before Krishna's appearance, all the devatas they came and they glorified Krishna. And then when Krishna appeared, Vasudeva glorifying Krishna, and then now Mother Devaki glorifying Krishna. Let's see it. 24 Sri Devakya Vacha Rupam yat tat prabhuravaktam adyam Brahma Jyoti Nirgunam Nirvikram Garam Sattamatram Nirvishesham Niriham Satvam Sakshat Vishnur Adhyatma Diva. See, Devaki said, my dear Lord, there are many different Vedas, some of which describe you as unperceivable through words and the mind. Yet you are the origin of manifestation. You are Brahman, the best of everything, full of effulgence like the sun. You have no real cause, free from the change and deviation, and you have no material desires. Thus, this is that you are the substance. Therefore, my Lord, you are directly the origin of all Vedic statements, and by understanding you, one gradually understands everything. You are different from the light of Brahman and Paramatma, yet you are not different from them. Everything emanates from you. Indeed, you are the cause of all causes, Lord Vishnu, the light of all transcendental knowledge. Many things he says here, but importantly, she talks about the Brahman, and then she says you are different from the light of Brahman and Paramatma. So three things here comes. So Krishna is known or been understood three aspects. It also comes in Bhagavatam as well, right? Brahmeti Paramatma Bhagavan iti sabdate. The learning scholars, acharyas, they perceive Krishna or God, Supreme God, in three aspects. One is that first is Brahman, then comes Paramatma, and then comes Bhagavan. So three things to understand is Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So three steps of realization as well. So the first step is Brahman, that everything actually is coming out of Brahman. This material world comes out from the Brahman. And what Brahman is, so we know this Brahman as Brahma Jyot, or the light of Brahman. However, we'll go more detail. That's the first step of realization. Then second step is Paramatma. So Krishna pervades in every living entity as a Paramatma. So he resides in the heart, right? So the Gyan is the Gyan is the journey goes towards this Brahman realization, and the yogis they go towards next Paramatma realization. So that's second level, and third level Bhagwan realization, which is the devotees they go to the stage of Bhagwan realization. So when we understand the Bhagwan realization, that Brahman and Paramatma already included in there. But when we only understand the Brahman realization, we are still Paramatma. So, for example, for the sun globe, he says sun can be perceived in three ways. As soon as sun rays come to our house, we know that come out. We don't have to come out and see sun. Just by seeing the sun rays, we say, okay, sun has come out. So, but sun rays are not sun. These are the rays coming out from the sun. And if you can go towards it, go out of your house, you can actually see the sun globe, isn't it? So there is a sun globe, sun rays, and when can you reach the sun, actually you can see sun god as well. I mean, there is sun god we know. So sun globe or sun planet, you can say, the sun rays, third is sun god. So three way running, right? In a similar way, the Bhagavan, the sun rays, if there is no sun, you don't rays. So sun rays are not independent, they are dependent on sun globe. In the similar way, the Brahman is dependent on Krishna, is the light of Krishna's body. The effulgence coming out from Krishna's body is the Brahman. And Paramatma is the next stage where we is reside within all living entity, all atoms. Right. And Prabhupada gives another examples as well. Even the devotee explains it like, the bulb and the filament. So bulb glows, we can't see the filament inside it, isn't it? When bulb is glowing. But it will be useless to say that the bulb glowing by its own. Actually, in the bulb, that's why bulb is glowing. And even it's not the filament the cause of bulb glowing. Actually, the cause is someone switch it on and off. Not that. If you go back and back, you see actually there's a powerhouse from where electricity is coming. That the switch on and off is working, and because of that, the filament, the bulb is, so we see the glowing bulb, right? We don't know everything what's happening behind it, but the reason behind it, right? Similar way, we see the Brahmatma, but the behind of that is Krishna himself. And Krishna explains in chapter 14 as well. Brahmano Tishtaham. I am the basis of this Brahman. Okay, so I think Prabhupada quotes here the verse as well. Brahmano Pratishtaham. Brahman rest upon me. And the Lord says, this continues. So that's what we discussed about this verse. And here Prabhupada says that although everything emanates from Krishna, he is ultimately a person. That's the Bhagwan realization, third stage. Paramatma and then Bhagavan is a person. It is not impersonal. The effulgence or Brahmajo, that is impersonal. But beyond that, his Krishna, that is a person. Aham Adir Hi Devanam. He is the origin of Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. And from them, many other demigods are manifested. Right. Okay. And again, Prabhupada talks about the Mayavad philosophy that they stop in the Brahma realizations, they don't go ahead. Let's see. Text 25. नष्टे लोके द्विपराधार्वासाने महाभूषभूतं गतेषु अव्यक्ते अव्यक्तं कालवेजनयाते भवानेकं शेषोषज्ञ. After millions of years, at the time of cosmic annihilation, when everything manifested and unmanifested is annihilated by the force of time, the five gross elements enter into the subtle conception, and the manifested categories enter into the unmanifested substance. At the time, you are alone as Ananta Shesh or Sheshanal. So, Prabhupada says in this verse that at the time of annihilation, the five gross metal, earth, water, fire, air, ether, enter into the mind, intelligence, and false ego, ahankara, and the entire cosmos manifestation enters in the spiritual energy of the Supreme alone remains as the origin of everything. The Lord is therefore known as Sheshanal or Adi Purusha and many other names. So this is how the manifestation of Lord Brahma and then creation of Lord Brahma, and then so there are four kinds of annihilation happens. So two is one is at the end of every day of Brahma, and then one is the at the end of Brahma's 100 years lifetime of Brahma. Third annihilation is the jivas, and the fourth annihilation, the important one, is when the jiva gets liberated from this cosmos. So that's the best one, where he completely goes away from this material world and goes back to spiritual world, right? And there are many details like how it happens. There is actually here explains that how elements and at that time the five, I'll read it from the start. After many millions of years, when Lord Brahma comes to the end of his life, the annihilation of the cosmic manifestation takes place. At that time, five elements, this Pancha Mahabhut, enters into Mahat Tattva, and Mahat Tattva again enters by the force of time into the non-manifested total energy. Total metal energy enters into the energy pradhan, and pradhan enters into you. And in the similar way, it happens like creation. From Krishna, this pradhan manifested. From pradhana, this Mahatma comes up, and from Mahatma, all the five elements comes up, and then Lord Brahma comes up and creates everything. So the same process it creates, and in the opposite way it annihilated. However, creation and after annihilation, the ones remain, that is Krishna. That Krishna explains uh, in Bhagavatam Canto 2 as well, where where Krishna says, "Aham evasam evagnanyat yat param pasyat aham yat etach yo vasishyate swasma." He says, "O Brahma, uh, who was existing before the creation and after the annihilation is only me." Right? That's how he says in that verse. Okay, so let's see text 26. So basically, all the creation happening is because of the energy of Krishna. Right? Text 26. Yoyam kalastashyati vaktavandho chetsa ahashchet chestate yena vishwam nimishadir vatsaranto mahina tad samtevasham shemadhama padhe. O innovator of the metal energy, this wonderful creation works under the control of powerful time, which is divided into seconds, minutes, hours, and years. These elements of time, which extends for many, many millions of years, is but another form of Lord Vishnu. For your pastime, you act as the controller of time, but you are the reservoir of all good fortune. Let offer my full surrender unto your lordship. So even the time, Krishna is called as the controller of time. Aham Kalosmi, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. He himself is time. He's also controlling time, right? And then she's saying that you are the inaugurator, you are the creator of this metal energy. That's Krishna's energy. Is also divine, right? And this is wonderful creation. Just imagine, you know, just imagine this cosmos, how the sun is placed, how the moon is placed, how the planets are there, how they are revolving, how the cycle of birth and death for every living being the is going on. It's really amazing, isn't it? So the like, I was hearing a long time back. So once there, and there is one more scientist, Newton was, he's a kind of theist. He believes in God. He believes in some supreme creator. Then once he had a small planetary system, very small, in his lab, and one of his colleague came. He says, who made it? Then Newton says, no, it just came by chance. So he says, why are you joking? And Newton says again, actually it's came by chance. So the point is, then he said, just imagine it's a small model of the universe, of planet system. You can't believe that it has come by chance. Then how could you believe that this whole cosmos is actually working nicely? Someone is not controlling of it. Someone must be a controller of this. Someone must have been made. That's why it's acting very nicely, isn't it? A small model, we can't believe that small model is being coming by chance, but we say that the universe has came by chance. How is possible? So someone supreme is there. The supreme concept, or what I can understand about supreme may be different. What you say supreme is something. Some people say, oh, there's supreme energy. Some say supreme power, and we say supreme Lord. So the conception or words and terms may be different, but eventually there is someone superior to us who is creating this, who is controlling this, who is taking care of everything, right? So Prabhupada's quote from Brahma Samhita, Yash Chakshur Esha Savita Sakala Grahanam, the verse, he says, the sun is the king of all planet systems and has unlimited potency in heat and light. I worship Govinda, the premier Lord, the supreme personality of Godhead, under whose control even the sun, which is considered to be the eye of the Lord, rotates within the fixed orbit of eternal time. So there's also a verse in Bhagavatam first canto where it says, uh, the rising of sun and setting of the sun, it actually takes away our one day, isn't it? The one day of our life gone. At the same time, it says anyone who actually engages their time in Krishna Katha, hearing Krishna Katha, glorifying Krishna, taking Krishna's name, they do not get affected by this kala, because at the time of death, they take the higher position, they go to back to Godhead. Right? So it's the time time is like is coming to everyone as a death, but for the devotees it's actually for them is a bliss, because they take anyway, they need to give up this body and go to the spiritual world, right? So that's the time. And Kuntimar, sorry, here Mother Devaki is saying that you are the controller of time as well. Okay, even sun is under the control of time, and time is controlled by Supreme Personality of God. That's why, therefore, the Lord has no fear of time. Right? And Prabhupada says the Lord is addressed as Avakta Bandhu, or the inaugurator of the moment of the entire cosmic manifestation. Right? Text 27. मर्त्यो मृत्यु व्यालभीतपालयन् लोकान् सर्वान् निर्भयं नाध्यगच्छ त्वत्पदाम्बुज प्राप्य यदृच्छ्यदा यद्या सुस्थः स्तेत मृत्युरस्माद् अपैति. No one in this material world has become free from the four principles: birth, death, old age, and disease, even by fleeing to various planets. But now that you have appeared, my Lord, death is fleeing in fear of you, and the living entities, having obtained shelter at your lotus feet, by your mercy, are sleeping in full mental peace. Right? I was discussing the other day in Sunday in temple on Chaitanya Charitamrita, this Sunday. There also there's this kind of verse came up where we discussed chapter 22 in Madhya, and there Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is instructing to Sanatana Goswami, saying that this living entity sometimes go to higher planet and sometimes go back to the lower planets, and in this way they go on churning in the cycle of birth and death, right? So that's why uh, here Devaki is saying that even by fleeing to the various planets, even if you go to the heavenly kingdom, still this cycle is there: birth, death, old age is there. Though their lifespan is big, huge as compared to the lifespan in we here, the enjoyment what they do in heavenly kingdom is very much more pleasing than what we enjoy here. But still, this four principle: birth, death, old age, and disease, still continue there, isn't it? That's there. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita as well, "A Brahma Bhona Loka Punavartina Arjuna." So even if you go to the till Brahma Loka, you have to come back again here, right? What to speak of the heavenly planets. So, but here, Mother Devaki is saying that, "Oh my Lord, the death is fleeing in fear of you." Right? Krishna is Abhayankara. He is giving the fearlessness to the devotees. Right? So death is again going away from there, and anyone who takes shelter at your lotus feet by your mercy, they are sleeping in full mental peace. There's I remember one pastime in mental peace. So when we hear the Mahabharata, and then what time, in one time, Bhishma Pitama, he took a vow that tomorrow morning I'm going to kill the Pandavas. He take out the 5 arrows and say, I will kill Pandavas. And then the news goes back to the Pandavas side. And then Krishna came to Arjuna and says, Arjuna, you are sleeping. Tomorrow is the day where Bhishma Pitama has taken vow to kill all you. He says, yeah, let me sleep. You can take care of us. Right? So that's all. He's on mental peace. He said, Krishna is there by our side. We have no worry at all. We are completely fearless. Right? So that's Mother Devaki is saying here that anyone who takes shelter of your lotus feet, by your mercy, they are actually free from this fear of death. And death is the only fear, the topmost fear we have, nothing else. Right? Prabhupada says in purport that there are different categories of living entity, but everyone is afraid of death. Everyone is afraid of death. The highest aim of the karmis is to be promoted to the higher heavenly planets, where the duration of life is very long. Krishna explains, Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Aharyat Brahmano Vidhu. And there, after that, in one of the verse, Krishna says as well, like when they elevate there, as soon as Shine Punya Mritya Loka Visanti. So, as soon as this piety goes out, we come back again to the material world. Right? And then he explains about Prabhupada explains about the day of Lord Brahma, like in 1,000 yugas, and how many years each yugas consists of, and that's how the Lord Brahma's lifetime 4.3 million billion years. So that's so huge. And when it compared to our age, it becomes very very tiny. But at the end, he also has a lifetime. In 100 years, he gives up his body and it takes another planet somewhere else, right? So yeah, Prabhupada's quoting this verse again here. Abrahma Bhuvnaloka Punavartina Arjuna. And this world is called as Mritya Loka. It means what? The life, death is always there, right? So, having said that, uh, and Prabhupada's quoting a very nice verse again, saying, who is the fortunate soul? Brahmanda Brahmite Kono Bhagyavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. Anyone, the full fortunate personality in the whole universe is the one who get the Bhakti Lata Bij by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, right? Everyone is wandering up and down within the universe, but one who is sufficiently fortunate comes in contact with Krishna consciousness and by the mercy of spiritual master and takes the path of devotional service. Then one is assured of eternal life with no fear of death, right? So let's see. Text 28. स्वत्वं घोराद् उग्रसेनात्मजान्नस्त्राहि त्रास्तान् भृत्य वित्रस्य हसि रूपं छेदं पौरुषं ध्यानं धीष्यां मा प्रत्यक्षं मंश दृष्णा कृष्टता. My Lord, because you dispel all the fear of your devotees, I request you to save us and give us protection from the terrible fear of Kansa. Your form as Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is appreciated by the yogis in meditation. Please make this form invisible to those who see with material eyes. So basically, indirectly, she actually asking Krishna uh, to to come back to the original form and go back to 200 form and become a child. So here she's very nicely praying, saying that you dispel the fears of your devotees. So, but still we are in fear, right? We are your mother and father, but we are in fear. You take away fear of your devotees, but we are in fear of Kansa. So please protect us from that as well. And let's see, Prabhupada says in a purport that the word dhyana dishyan is significant in this verse because the form of Lord Vishnu is meditated upon by the yogis. So Devaki requesting the Lord who has appeared as Vishnu to conceal that form, for she wanted to see the Lord as an ordinary child, like a child appreciated by the persons who have material eyes. So it's not very much appreciated by them. So the Devaki, she wanted to see the child of Krishna's 200 form as well, and then we'll see in just near future that how Krishna comes back to 200 form as Vishnu Krishna form, and then he instructs Vyas Vasudev. So Devaki wants to see whether the Supreme Personality of Godhead had factually appeared or she was just dreaming the Vishnu form. So uh, just 1 second. I think there was a discharge. Hare Krishna. Okay, so we were here, right? So she wants to see Krishna's form, 200 forms. So because the Vishnu form is expansion of Krishna's form, so she just wanted to make sure that I could see Krishna form as well, right? So that's how she's praying. And Prabhupada says that Devaki was so afraid of Kamsa that she could not believe that Kamsa would be unable to kill Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu, who was personally present. Out of motherly affection, therefore, she requested the Supreme Personality of Godhead to disappear Although because of the Lord's disappearance, Kansa would harass her more and more, thinking that the child born of her was hidden somewhere. So she did not want the transcendental child to be harassed and killed. Therefore, she requested Lord Vishnu to disappear. Later, when harassed, she would think of him within her mind. So the point is, still she knew very well it's Krishna, it's the Lord, still Supreme One, but still the motherly affection was more there. So she just wanted to make sure that my child remains safe. Anyway, I have already lost 6 children, so just let this child be safe. So that's how her intention was there. Right. Text 29. जन्मते मय अशुपापो मा विद्यान् मधुसूदन समुद्वेजे भवद्देहितो कंसात् अहम अधिरोधि. O Madhusudana, because of your appearance, I am becoming more and more anxious in fear of Kansa. Therefore, please arrange for that sinful Kansa to be unable to understand that you have taken birth from my womb. So she prayed. So the how Acharya explain here is that Devaki knew very well that if you can please Krishna and then ask something, he's going to give you. So she earlier she prayed, glorified Krishna, and then she's asking for something, that Krishna, can you please make sure that you disappear somehow or other, or Kansa could not understand you, so that you remain at least safe. That's her intention, that my son will remain safe. Right. So Devaki addressed Krishna as Madhusudana here. She was aware that the Lord has killed many demons like Madhu, who were hundreds and thousands of times more powerful than Kansa. Yet, because of affection for the transcendental child, she believed that Kansa would kill him. So instead of thinking of unlimited power of the Lord, she thought of the Lord with affection. So because of the child, she wanted to make sure my child is safe, right? And she wanted Krishna, please, you disappear. Text 30. उपसंहर विश्वात्मना आदो रूपम अलौकिकम शंख चक्र गदा पद्म श्रियजुष्टम चतुर्भुजम. O my Lord, you are all pervading supreme personality of Godhead, and your transcendental four-armed form holding council, disc, club, and lotus is unnatural for this world. Please withdraw this form and become just like a natural human child, so that I may try to hide you somewhere. So, because now Krishna is completely in a form, his Vishnu form, he is completely adult there, is not child. So she is saying that, please, can you please go back to this 200 form? Just remember, even in Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna saw Krishna's this form, 400, and like Virata Rupa, then he was trembling. He said, oh Krishna, please come back to your 400 form. And then Krishna then come to his Shyamsundar form again. He said, no, I just want to see this form. I am terrified by seeing your Virata Rupa. So now Devaki is saying that, please, come back to your natural form, where, and if you can become child, I'll try to somehow or other, hide you or save you from the Kansa. So that's what her intention, right? So Devaki was thinking of hiding Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, and not handling him over to Kansa, as she had all previous children. Although Vasudeva had promised to hand over every child to Kansa, this time he wanted to break his promise and hide the child somewhere. But because of Lord's appearance in this surprising 400 arms, he would be impossible to hide. Right? And we'll see in just a couple of, after some verses, Krishna says, if you fear, then do this, Vasudeva. Otherwise, bring Kansa, I'm going to kill him right away. Right? Let's see it. It comes up in very soon. Just 1 second. Wow. Text 31. Vishwam yad etat swatanum nishante yathavakaamsam purusha paro bhavan bibrati soyam mama garbha gobhu daho nurukelasya vidambana hi tata. At the time of devastation, the entire cosmos containing all created moving and non-being entities, enter your transcendental body and is held there without difficulty. But now this transcendental form has taken birth from my womb. People will not be able to believe this, and I shall become an object of ridicule. So she's saying that, when people say, okay, someone has taken birth in a completely Nava Yovanam, having four, holding conch, dicks, and the, so it might not be very much appreciable by the people. So, and please come back, please become a child, and please come back to your 200 normal as a human being form. So that's what she's praying. Right. So, as explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the loving service of personality of Godhead is of two different kinds: Aishwarya Purna, full of opulence, and Aishwarya Sthila, without opulences. So, real love of Godhead begins with Aishwarya Sthila, simply on the basis of pure love. Right. Prabhupada quotes verses again, Premanjan Churita Bhakti Vachinana, where how by putting the ointment of bhakti or prema we can actually perceive Krishna. Otherwise, it's not that easy. And Prabhupada explains the 5 kinds of rasas or mellows: Santadasya, Vatsalya, Shakya, and Madhurya, and Devaki in the platform of Vatsalya as a motherly affection towards Lord Hari, the Lord Krishna. Okay, let's see text 32. Now, Krishna starts. So, as of now, what happened is Lord Krishna heard the prayers by the Devatas. Lord Krishna appeared as a full form of Vishnu. Then he heard the prayers by Vasudeva. He heard the prayers by Devaki, and then he heard the prayers by he heard the request by Devaki as well. Devaki she prayed, and also she requested to do something. She wanted that Krishna, you come back a child form and become 200 form, human form as well. Like, hide your 4 arms and just become 200 form. Now let's see what Krishna says. Sri Bhagavan Vacha. And Sri Bhagavan Vacha, Prabhupada gives a very nice elaborate purport in chapter 2. Only a whole purport goes about talking about Bhagavan, his opulences and wise. So Prabhupada mentioned very nicely that in Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna says, he says Arjuna Vacha, Dhritarashtra Vacha, Sanjay Vacha. But when Krishna says, it never says Krishna Vacha, it says always says Sri Bhagavan Vacha, because Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Yesterday we discussed from Bhagavatam, Ete Chamsa Kalapamsa, Krishnastu Bhagavanusam. Krishna is the supreme fountainhead of all the incarnations. So Sri Bhagavan Vacha, Tvam eva purva sarge bhuvi prishni swayam bhuve sati tadayam sutapa nama prajapatir alakshamam. So Krishna now actually he is reminding and making assurance to Devaki and Vasudeva that I am the supreme personality of Godhead, and he is reminding about their previous lives. Already Devatas or Brahmaji has already assured Mother Devaki that you have no fear at all. Now Krishna has already appeared as a son, so you have to be completely fearless. So now Krishna is going to remind her about their previous lives. So Lord says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead replied, my dear mother, best of your chest, in your previous birth, in the Swayambhu millennium, you were known as Prashni, and Vasudeva, who was the most pious Prajapati, was named as Sutapa. So this Prishni and Sutapa, when they were there, they has been asked by Lord Brahma to populate progeny, and then again they went for a long time of meditation, and then they prayed Krishna. Let's see what Prabhupada sees here. And then Krishna appeared, and then they asked for thrice, and Krishna appeared as the son of Sutapa and Prishni, called as Prishni Garva, and then he appeared again to Kashyapa Muni as a Vamanadev, and then this third time this happening. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead made it clear that Devaki had not become his mother only now, rather She had been his mother previously also. Krishna is eternal, and his selection of father and mother from among his devotees takes place eternally. So previously also Devaki had been the Lord's mother, Shudev's Lord's father, and they were named Krishna and Sutapa. When the Supreme Personality of God appears, he accepts his eternal father and mother, and they accept Krishna as their son. This pastime takes place eternally, and is therefore called as Nitya Leela. So it continues all the time. Every time this Leela goes on. That's why Nitya Leela. And that's why Prabhupada says this verse, very important verse actually, chapter 4, text 9, Janma Karma Chame Divyam. So like just by understanding the Krishna's transcendental nature of appearance and his activity, Tvekta Deham Punar Janmaneti Mahamita Sarjuna. There is no more birth and death in this life cycle. Just go back to Krishna's abode. Mama iti. He attains Krishna's abode. Krishna assures this in Bhagavad Gita itself. Right? And who doesn't know? Avajananti Mama Mudha, the non-devotees, who are foolish, they do not understand Krishna's form. Text 33. युवान् वै ब्राह्मणादिष्टौ प्रजा सर्गे यदा ततः सन्नियाम् इन्द्रियग्रामं ते पाते paramam tapah. So in that lifetime when you were Prishni and and Sutapa, what you did? He says here, when you both were ordered by Lord Brahma to create progeny, you first underwent severe austerities by controlling your senses. So a great learning comes here is it's not just about creating progeny, it's about austerity, right? So they went for a austerity. And in Bhagavatam, we have seen many times when someone will order like this, even Manu, they went for austerity, and they do tapasya before populating this world. So here are instructions about how to use one's senses to create progeny. Prabhupada says, very first line. According to Vedic principles, before creating progeny, one must fully control the senses. This control takes place through the Garbhadhana Sanskara. And in India, there is a great agitation for birth control in various mechanical way, but birth cannot be mechanically controlled. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Dosam Dasalam. The birth, death, old age and disease are certainly the primary distress of the material world. People are trying to control birth, but they are not able to control death. And if one cannot control death, one cannot control birth either. In other words, artificially controlling birth is not any feasible than artificially controlling death. Anyway, that's a different discussion completely. But the point is, Prabhupada says about in Vedic civilizations, they used to do very nice tapasya and before progeny. And this Sutapa and Vishnu, they both did tapasya. And let's see what happened next, what Krishna says now. वर्षवाटाप्तपहीमा घर्मकालगुण सहमानौ श्वासरोध विनिर्धूत मनोमलौ श्रीणा पर्णालिहारावौ उपशान्तेन चेतसा मत्तः कामम् अभिपसन्तौ मद आराधन ihतौ. So how did they tapasya? They did saying, my dear father and mother, you endured rain, wind, strong sun, scorching heat and severe cold, suffering all sorts of inconveniences according to different regions. And by practicing pranayama to control the air within the body through yoga, and by eating only air and dry leaves fallen from the trees, you cleansed your mind all dirty things. In this way, desiring a benediction from me, you worshipped me with peaceful mind. They worshipped Krishna with a peaceful mind, and what they desire is the sun, right? So, and then they desire the sun, and Krishna says, the desire you had is no one like that, so I have to come back again. So Krishna came as their son, right? So Vasudeva and Devaki did not obtain the Supreme Personality of Godhead as their son very easily, nor does the Supreme Godhead accepted merely anyone as his father and mother. Here, we see that how Vasudeva and Devaki obtained Krishna as the eternal son. They had did lot of tapasya. They controlled, or they went through everything. The rain, the wind, the sun, scorching heat and cold everywhere. They have passed through those all stages just to please the Supreme Lord. Right. That's why Varnasam Sanskara is very needed uh, in existence. Okay, let me see what time we have now. Okay, we have 10 more minutes to continue at least today. Text 36. एवं वां तपयतस् तीव्रं तपः परमं दुष्करं दिव्यवर्षसहस्राणि द्वादशोयुर्मार्दन्तो मनो. Thus he spent 12,000 celestial years performing difficult activities of tapasya in consciousness of me, Krishna consciousness. So they did tapasya for pleasing Krishna. So see, Hiranyakashipu did tapasya to in an inimical way. He wanted to fight with Vishnu and kill Krishna. Here, Vishnu and Sutapa, they are doing tapasya to please Krishna, and they went through 12,000 celestial years, and they control. They went through all many different types of difficulties. However, they went through all those things. Text 37-38. तदा वां परितौस्तोऽहम् आमुनो बपु संगहे तपस्या श्रद्धया नित्यं भक्त्या च हृदि भावितः प्रादुराशं वरदाराण युवयो कामादिशया वीर्यन्तां वर इत्युक्ते मादृशो वामृतसुतः. O sinless Mother Devaki, after the expiry of 12,000 celestial years in which you constantly contemplated me within your core of your heart with great faith, devotion, and austerity, I was very much satisfied with you. Since I am the best of all bestower of benediction, I appeared in the same form as Krishna to ask you to take from me the benediction you desired. You then expressed your desire to have a son exactly like me. So anyone cannot be exactly like Krishna. So as Mother Devaki in this previous, like Krishna and Sutapa, they desired that I want a son as good as you. So it means you become our son, right? Indirectly she says that. So that's the essence how they did tapasya, and then they asked Krishna to be their son indirectly, but they wanted a son as if like Krishna, right? And yeah, this is a nice point Prabhupada makes here, that as we have explained, in worship of Lord there are three stages: jnana, jnanamai, and rati, or love. So Sutapa and his wife Prishni inaugurated their devotional activities on the basis of full knowledge. Gradually they developed love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this Jnanamai, and when this love was matured, the Lord appeared as Vishnu. Although Devaki then requested him to assume the form of Krishna to love the Supreme Personality of Godhead more. We want a form of Lord like Krishna or Rama. We can engage in loving transactions with Krishna especially. Right. So that's why they went through all this. They had properly knowledge, and then when they moved gradually, it went towards the love. Even if you see the yogic practice, the yama niyama, asana, pranayam, pratyahara, all other steps, dharana, till samadhi. At the end of samadhi, the yogis, they need to meditate on the full form of the Lord, right? And then they control their breathing process, and then the liberation. So absorption in the Krishna is necessarily even for the yogis to get elevated, to get liberated, right? However, here Sutapa and Vishnu, they were completely absorbed of Krishna and did very nice tapasya, and then Krishna was pleased. As Krishna pleased, they asked for benediction, and that's how even in this pastime Mother Devaki prayed Krishna, and then she asked, "Can you please become a child again?" So now Krishna explaining about their previous lives. Like, yeah, I said I think I missed one nice point here. Prabhupada makes about the point about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Rupa Goswami said, "Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Parima Pradayate Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaurti Senama." So Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is being glorified by Rupa Goswami in this verse, saying that uh, the you are, O Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you are Mahavadanyaya, you are the most munificent of charitable persons, because he gives Krishna Prema Pradayati. He gives Krishna so easily that one can attain Krishna simply by chanting the Maha Mantra. So, and Prabhupada quotes here in the next paragraph, he says that one need not undergo severe penances for many thousands of years. One need only learn how to love Krishna and be always engaged in service. Sevan mukhe jivado swam evaspateha. We discussed this point yesterday as well. So that's how. If we know how to love Krishna, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is showing the path. He is giving this Krishna prema pradayate. He is the one who is distributing the Krishna prema very easily, very easily, just by simply chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. One can achieve Krishna Prema. Following the footstep of Mahaprabhu and Acharyas, actually, we can get the love of Godhead. It's so easy. Prabhupada says it's so simple that sometimes, many times, we miss it. Okay, text 39. Ajusta Gramya Vishyavas Anapatyu cha Dampati Navavrathe Pavargamme Mahito Deva Mayaya. Being husband and wife, but always sonless, you were attracted by sexual desires, for by the influence of Deva Maya, transcendental love, you wanted to have me as your son. Therefore, you never desired to be liberated from the material world. So they wanted to have Krishna as their son, like as good as Krishna as their son. So they were engaged in this dampati or husband wife association, and they don't desire liberation. So, you know, the essence is to love Krishna, right? And the Acharya explains that even, oh Krishna, even if you want us to put back into the hellish planet, however, just be merciful that we can discuss Krishna Katha even in heavenly hellish planet. We are happy to be there. That's how our Acharyas explains, right? So here, Mother Devaki and Vasudeva, they wanted to have Krishna, so they had no desire for liberation, rather that they wanted Krishna as their son, right? Yeah, Prabhupada again quote from Chaitanya Charitamrita that if one wants to go back home, back to Godhead, one must be niskinchana, free from all material desires. Therefore, instead of desiring to have the Lord come here and becomes one son, one should desire to be free from all material desire. Na vilasa sunyam, and go back home, back to Godhead. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches in Sikshastakam this again very nice verse. Na dharma janam sundarim kavitama jagadisa kamaye mama janmani janmani sware bhavatad bhakti aitukisri. As we were just discussing about the devotee's desire is that janmani janme sware, even if I'm taking the life after life, that what I desire is bhavatad, yours bhakti aitukisri. I just have the bhakti onto your lotus feet, right? O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth, and no one should ask the Lord to fulfill any material desires. Right? Hare Krishna. Sorry, just okay. So it's actually completed 9 now. We'll stop here, and we'll try to continue last section of this part tomorrow. Mm, just one second. Yeah. So what next is? Yeah, no problem. We'll continue tomorrow from text 40. We'll continue from text 40 tomorrow. Anyone have any quick questions, thought? Just give me 1 second. Yeah, so we'll continue tomorrow, the next section where we'll see the mystery of Krishna's appearance, like how Acharya explains about Krishna appears to Mother Devaki, even to Mother Yashoda. Right. I see something on the chat. Let me read it out. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare
Some
Krishna,
questions.
my apologies for the long question, Prabhu.
No
I'll only
problem.
answer if you have time. Sorry.
No problem. Let me check it out. So first, is Brahman derived from Krishna's mental energy? No. So the Brahman is not Krishna's mental energy. The Brahman is Krishna's effulgence itself. So I'll just give me 1 second. I'll share one slide and then we can discuss a bit on that. Hope you can see my screen now. Is it visible? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So this is spiritual world, right? So this is spiritual world from Kailash to all top is spiritual world, and this in the middle is Brahma Jyot, and after that is, if you see this line, uh, where it is, from here, this line, this starts our material world. So from here, this is spiritual world, and from here this down towards this is material world, and this middle part is Brahma Jyot, which is the effulgence. It's a Krishna's effulgence. It is that. So Krishna is lying, and his effulgence is going ahead, and that is how this is all like a glaring sun. Like, it's very easy, difficult to go ahead of this. That is Brahma Jyot. It's Krishna's body, Krishna's effulgence coming out. So this is not Krishna's material energy. This is Krishna's body energy is coming out itself. Even if it's Krishna, any material energy are also divine, because that's coming out from Krishna himself. So second point is, do we as Jivatma come from beyond material existence? Yes. So Jivatma is Krishna's parts and partial. So it's again a very kind of tricky questions. It's always being we do not know actually the real answer. It always says that in time immemorial we had desire in the spiritual world to enjoy alone without Krishna. So Krishna said, okay, if you want to enjoy, I'll fulfill your desire, and he created this material world, and we are back in here. And when then we read Bhagavad Gita, then we get satsanga, and then again we go back to our spiritual world. Then we understand that actually we did this mistake of trying to enjoy alone. So no more thinking of that. Let's be servant of Krishna and enjoy it here. Is existence itself within a material cosmos, or is material cosmos within existence? I didn't get the question, Prabhu. It's existence. What do you mean by existence here?
I think we call it astit. Is it astitva? Our own existence. Sorry, existence itself, the canvas, the substance of existence.
Yeah, so if is existence itself within the material cosmos, I'm a bit confused with the question. Maybe I'm not getting the question properly.
Okay, I'll re-articulate that another time. We can skip that one.
No problem. Question number 4. If everything comes from Brahman, then does Brahman acts as an conduit or channel through which all material existence manifests? Yes, that's true. So what happens is, I share the picture from there. Did I close it? No. So let me say it again. So from here, the first expansion of Krishna comes back as a Karnodaka Sai Vishnu. If you see, can you see here? this Karna ocean, and where Krishna is lying here. This is called as first expansion or Mahavishnu. And as he breathes, so many universes like this comes out into existence. So as we discussed yesterday, right, like Krishna, he expands first. That is Krishna's. This is Karuna Vishnu, who is a Paramatma of whole metal cosmos, and then he expands again. What happened? And then he he expands again into each of these universes as as this Garbhadaksai Vishnu, this Garbhadaksai Vishnu, and then Brahma creates everything, and then he Garbhadaksai Vishnu he expands and again and enters into each atom of this universe itself. Right. So yes. So we're in the fourth question. Yes. So everything comes actually from Brahman. So that's why sometimes we say Brahman is the end, like that's the first step of realization, that Brahman is the everything. But beyond that, actually there, right? So metal cosmos is beside Brahman. Yeah.
Okay, so the impersonal Brahman
Uh,
is actually spiritual energy. Yeah.
yes, that's Krishna's spiritual energy. Yeah. Text 5. I heard that all Jivatma's trail within us is there because it is in Krishna. So if traits derive from Krishna, and if Krishna aloof from gunas, then is beyond all traits of envy, desire, fear, ego, anger, then how did the all these ego conditioning traits exist within us in first place? So in first place there was nothing within us. So when we are in the spiritual world, we had no envy, desire, fear. But somehow or other, as he said, is time immemorial. We wanted to had a desire to enjoy things separate from Krishna. And then as their desire comes up, so Krishna creates this material world so that we can enjoy. And as here he comes, so he gives another energy. So there are three energies: eternal energy, external energy, and marginal energy. So external energy is Maya Devi is working here, and eternal energy is Srimati Radhanani, and marginal energy is Jiva Tattva. So because Jiva Tattva, he wants to enjoy alone, so this Maya Devi, she's taking care, and this material nature, he's binding the conditioned soul with these three modes. And then that's how he's forgetting everything about Krishna, and then he engaged everything in these three modes, and because of that he's suffering again and again. But as soon as he learns more about the his own identity, that I'm actually spirit soul, and I'm not from this world. I have some different places, like when we go for a holiday, right, or for a vacation, we don't stay there for whole lifetime. We stay there for 5 7 days and come back again to our home. And then when we are back at home, we say, wow, it was tiring, but now we are sleeping peacefully because we are back in home, right? So in this that way, this material world is kind of our journey, kind of vacation for this lifetime. And when we find it, we can go back to our spiritual world. I think sixth question: what purpose, Leela, did Krishna create us? Material existence, karma, fate, free will, yoga, for us to experience, learn lessons, and repurify ourselves in order to appreciate difficulties to go back to Godhead. Yeah. Meaning, why or how did we, as pure Jivatma, develop such separation consciousness to lord over material existence that we desire to live his perfect loving abode and his side in first place? Yeah, I mean, this nearly the both are the same thing. uh, I'm not very much sure. This always say that in time immemorial, sometime we had a desire to enjoy. And how do we recheck it again? It's like it happens like four purushartha: uh, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. right? Dharma is doing pious activity, like, and then we do pious activity, we get artha, we get money or material things, opulences, and then when we have these material things, then we try to enjoy it, kama, sense gratification, right? And then as we do sense gratification, then we had more desire, because when you do sense gratification you want some more. So it goes back again to dharma. Okay, I did some dharma, I get some artha, I get enjoyment, so let me do it again. And as these cycles goes on and on, dharma artha kama moksha, dharma artha kama, dharma artha kama. But sometime after many birth, this jiva understand that, this is repetition, my desire is not completing happening, as soon as get something, I had more desires. So he thinks of fourth part, liberation. Then he start thinking, okay, how can I get actually finish this cycle at all? I'm desiring something, I'm getting something, and then again I'm having more desire. So like a person if I have a cycle, it thinks of a four-wheeler. Even if someone has a four-wheeler, he thinks of, how can I have a no very opulent four-wheelers, right? Cruise and everything. So it goes on, and then he thinks, okay, can I have my own plane or something like that? So the desire, material desire, it goes on and on, it never gets satisfied. But when he starts thinking of liberation, then he takes another steps, right?
Yeah, I
Okay.
guess the reason why I asked that question, Prabhu, is because I'm thinking when we were beyond material nature, when we were in Krishna Loka, why we are completely fulfilled. So why did Krishna allow us to develop the propensity to enjoy and go away from him separately if we were fulfilled there? Or what led us to go? Or is this just all part of a leela? Is this whole
Yeah,
existence
definitely.
a reason for his enjoyment and entertainment and, I don't know, for activity? Like how we go
Definitely.
to the cinema.
Definitely it's a part of his leela, there's no doubt in that. Certainly he wanted to have more pastimes, so definitely he did it this leela. But somehow or other, as our acharyas and Prabhupada has also explained, that some tinge of selfishness that came up in us, and that's why Krishna put us back in this condition.
Hmm. And is that selfishness come because we have the same propensity as Krishna to be separate and want to
Yes.
enjoy separately and lord
Yeah.
over? Is that where it came from, that
Yes.
propensity?
That's how. Yeah, that's how it comes first. We want to lord over
Okay.
things. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very
Hare
much.
Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So we'll see
Prabhu,
tomorrow.
can I add something? Can I add something to that answer?
Yes, please, Prabhu. Feel free to add. Definitely.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think, Prabhu, that there's no point in blaming Krishna for us being in the material world. As we all have all heard this example of the naughty child. When there's a naughty child in the house, the father gives him a separate room so he can do his mischief. So it's not the desire of Krishna to put us in this material world. It is our own desire, independent desire, to be away from Krishna, to be like the naughty child. So it's actually like there's no point in blaming Krishna for this. Obviously, it's his desire to bring us back to Krishna, back to home, back to Godhead, and that's why he's giving us, out of his costless mercy, he's giving us the acharyas and the Guru Parampara and the whole process of bhakti yoga to become purified again and to be qualified again to go back to the spiritual world. But it's a long process. Is that okay, Prabhu?
Yeah. Thanks,
Yes,
Prabhu, for
this
spreading it
is
out.
this is exactly what I heard here many times, which is exactly why I asked the question, even to my Jyotish Guru, ISKCON Jyotish Guru, when we were learning about free will, fate, karma from Krishna's loka. In the very first place, it's not a question of blaming Krishna, it's a question of trying to understand why we developed that naughty child, mischievous energy for us to want to be separate from Krishna when it's completely perfect in his house, if you see what I mean. So I guess I was looking at it from that angle, that why would we want to even go away and enjoy, even though with the naughty child, we can understand that a naughty child wants to enjoy separately, later on regrets, comes back home and realizes the lessons mother and father were teaching. But in the first place, why we have that propensity? I guess I was coming from that angle, you know. So is this part of Krishna's Leela? You know, is there another purpose behind it? I guess I was looking at it from that point of view, but not from a blame point of view, but from an adventure point of view. So I was trying to think, is this Krishna's adventure? Is this something that he desires for us to do in order to expand creation, or what purpose could it be in the first place? Because we were so perfect when we were with him, you know, why would we even want to go away from him? So I was guessing from asking from that point of view. But yes, no, you're right. I completely
Can I add
understand.
something? Can I add something more, Prabhu, to this?
Yes, please.
So
If
the
that's
way I understand is that we have free will. Free will means, like that, like you said, is that capacity of independence, of taking decisions and desire. So Krishna is never going to force us to do something against our will. We have free will to decide, and it was our free will to come to this material world. So only because there is free will, we can develop love, right? Love can only develop when there is free will. Nobody can force you to love somebody else. You have to exercise your own free will. So in that way, all the eternally liberated souls that are in the spiritual world, in the Vaikuntha planets, they're using their free will in the proper way. They're desiring the right thing. So that's why we have free will. That's something that Krishna could never take away from us. We always have free will. What do you think, Baleshwar Raman Prabhu?
That's true, Prabhu. Free will are always there. That's why we are here as well, isn't it? Yeah. So
Actually, no, that's very true,
again,
because we have free will, that's an expression of Krishna's love for us. Yes, you're absolutely right. He gave us free will just out of love, I suppose. I'm just wondering, why did some of us exercise it so wrongly?
even the free will is even the free will is, it says free will, but still is controlled, isn't it? We don't have free will completely free. Like
Right,
I
right.
got an example of how the free will is, like, like the children when they go in a park, the parents are sitting in a chair and then they are watching, and then the children, they play in the park in a fence itself, right? So the children has a free will to play anywhere in the fence. As soon as they cross the fence, the parents shout, "Oh, come back here!" So free will Krishna has given us, but still there's a boundary. We can't cross that boundary as well, isn't it?
Very true. That's why I say to people, independence is an illusion, you know? No, thank you. Thank you to both of you, Prabhus. Sorry, I forgot your name, Artavi Krishnadas. Thank you. And yourself, Prabhu.
No
Baleshwar,
problem.
Yes, Prabhu. So very nice discussion. I was thinking about what you said, and you're right. We're not really completely free, right? Because we are conditioned by the three modes of material nature.
Yeah.
I've heard as well that only if we transcend the three modes of material nature, then we can have real freedom. Otherwise, we're conditioned. Otherwise we're like slaves. We're practically slaves of the three modes of material nature.
That's
no,
true,
you're
Prabhu.
right. But
Yes.
even beyond the three gunas, we had free will, is what I think you said, and Prabhuji said when we were in the spiritual universe. So even when we were beyond the modes of material nature, before we came through the conduit, we had that free will. But I think there was some illusion there that we thought we had complete free will, which I think you've cleared up by saying even that was restricted, and we found out the hard way. Maybe, I don't know.
No problem. What I will do is I'll try to check with these few questions with my seniors, and then if I get something, I'll let you know definitely.
Yeah, no, thank you to both of you. Thank you. That was very enlightening.
Hare Krishna. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Hare Krishna. We will see tomorrow a very interesting pastime of Krishna's appearance. Actually, he appeared, but still we have something mystery still lying there in the last couple of verses. We'll see it out. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.